Like a douche.
Gadoosh, dadoosh,
And
dadoosh.
we are live on that note, the juicy note. Welcome to this week's Movie Club Strikes Back Hangout. My name is Meta, aka Meta Medicine, and I am joined by my good friend Brett Wine and then these other idiots. And tonight we shall be talking about all things Halloween, not necessarily just the franchise and the movies, but Halloween in general. But before we get into all of that, who do I have tonight?
I'm Batman.
Yeah.
That's Batman.
That's it. That's what we get. We're not allowed to know his real identity, even though everybody does, because let's face it, like the disguise is not that good at really disguising who he is. You know?
Yes, it is. I don't know who he is.
Next.
But I don't know what the next person is.
It's me! I am Ghostface.
Ghostface.
Otherwise known as Courtney Garrett. I have this because
Because you do.
I do, because I bought it one day. I was at Walmart and I was like, it smells like my childhood. And I bought it. Does nobody else understand that? Like, no, this mat is like the best smelling thing in the world. Does nobody else think that? I know there's at least one other person out there that agrees with me. Anyways, I'm Courtney. Yay. Moving on. That's great.
I could think of several things that would smell better than that. So, I'm Kiwi. I'm the horny devil Kiwi. And since it's now technically 23 minutes past 11 where I am, that's kind of socially appropriate enough to drink. So yay for daylight savings! It means I can now go back to drinking during hangout. Woohoo! Love it. That's me.
Drink responsibly.
Don't tell me what to do, Batman.
I am the
You're
law.
not my father.
My parents are dead.
Wow, this went to a dark place really, really fast.
What would you
Well,
expect
it's a
of Batman?
Halloween episode, so it's allowed to go to a dark place.
I want to go to your dark place.
Oh. I am Liam, aka Some Douche with a Guitar, and my hat D, Psychic Liam's Cobra. I am a Scottish guy that posts way too many selfies on Instagram and makes occasional videos on YouTube. And yeah, I'm not good at intros. Goodbye.
One of the top awesome Scottish guys. There's a few top Scottish guys.
You're gonna break my heart. You're gonna break my heart on air. I know you're gonna
what? I didn't say you weren't one of the top Scottish guys. I just said, you are one of them. You're up there and amongst it all. You know what I mean.
All right,
Nope.
this is gonna be great. I can already tell.
Liam, I can always partner you up with Robin.
Perfection. My name is Meta, aka Meta Medicine, anywhere on the interwebs. I also post many selfies, often of my butt, so there's that if you want to follow me on Instagram. And then I just normally ramble about a bunch of different shit on YouTube, and that's also sometimes fun if you're really blackout drunk. So there's that. And as I said, tonight we will be talking about Halloween movies, and then you'll probably be saying, well, Meta, you did a horror hangout not too long ago. What the fuck are you doing again? And then I'd be like, wow, you actually watch our hangouts. I love you. Can you please keep watching? And then I'd say, well, it's not necessarily a horror hangout this time. It is more just an overall movies with a Halloween theme, or yes, I guess, a bit horror movie as well. But we will try to expand the topic a bit. So if you have any questions for us, please tweet us at MC Strikes Back on Twitter or on Facebook. Find us there, and we will answer some questions.
Or if you're watching us on YouTube Live right now, you can also comment on the YouTube video, because I'll be monitoring that one before I get too drunk. So
Which will be in 5 minutes. So
5
get
minutes,
your questions in now. Well, the fun part is actually that we are having this Halloween hangout, and I am obviously Movie Club's only Danish person, and so I don't know actually why I'm hosting this hangout, because we don't have Halloween in Denmark. it's not an actual thing. So
I'm
here
sorry.
I am, like, I don't really know what Halloween is, but let's do it. Have fun.
See, I can kind of half back you up on that one because in New Zealand, like when I was a little kid, Halloween wasn't a very big deal. It's a very Americanized like holiday. Whereas over here, you'd be lucky if you ever found like a cheap little like mask costume. And if you would go out trick or treating, most people would be like, "This is not America, go away." And you're like, "But I'm just a kid." Whereas now, like it's actually becoming a big deal because we're becoming more Americanized. It's like, yay for New Zealand. So now we have like a lot more of the Halloween candy and the costumes and the big deal, and all the stores have their big Halloween sale. Really, it's just an excuse for them to sell extra crap, or for us to get really drunk, wear shitty-ass costumes, and eat way too much candy. Yes.
Well, it's the same thing as us. Like, you don't really do it as kids or anything. I know that now, since I'm in university, a lot of the parties in the end of October will be sort of costume parties, but we won't call it a Halloween party because we don't want to commercialize it too much and be too Americanized. But we have our version of Halloween in February. And I like that version a lot more because that's so much more barbaric and Viking-y and very much Danish. So I prefer to have my Halloween Danish style in February instead.
Why can't you have both?
Because I
Why
like
is that
the Danish
fun?
version.
Well,
Yeah, I
there you
mean,
have your Danish version in February and have your American bullshit, but still fun one in October.
But it's not fun. It makes
at,
me
at
angry.
the at the very least, all you have to do is dress up in a costume and go to a bar and get drunk. Halloween.
Exactly.
But if
Oh,
you
it
show
is in
up,
America?
show up in a costume here, people will look at you and think you're a freak. And they
Oh, and
already
only
do
there.
because I wear my black military.
Yeah, only that.
Only in Denmark, if you throw up in a costume, see, they'll think there's something wrong with you.
They will think
That's
you're
the
very
great
weird.
thing about Halloween. Being seen as a freak and not caring.
I'm seen as a freak
care.
every day and don't care, but
See?
right on
So
Halloween,
wear a
I want to be
costume.
normal.
Done with it.
I'll wear my normal costume on Halloween and be the freak there.
That's why I want to get into cosplays, to just be able to dress up, but I'm such a lazy ass. I'm not gonna do my own costume, so it's like, and I'd sooner commission someone to actually make a costume for me as opposed to actually take time or even have the talent to do something like that. I wish it was more than once a year you can legitimately dress up, but
I'm
I'm
kind of
such a
as well.
lazy costumer. I just put like I've got a Sims headband, so I just put that on and I'll be like, I'm a Sim. There you go. I've done my bit. I'm such a lazy costumer.
hey, I mean,
I'm sorry, Liam. I cut you off.
It's
You
okay.
can tell me off later if you want.
I'm used to it. It's okay.
Oh.
I'm very lazy as well. I always just pick the thing that looks the most like me, and then go with that. So this year I'll be going as Sam Hewen from the
Oh yeah,
TV series.
totally.
Except I'll be
It's like dead on,
or you could be
except
or you could be the Dragonborn, Liam.
especially the butt, right?
Yeah, it's all about the butt. About the butt. Oh.
You
except
can
I would
always, you can
never
always be the
install myself
Dragonborn,
as.
Liam.
Hmm?
You can always be the Dragonborn. Do a bunch of random shouting and have the Dragonborn mask.
I am the Dragonborn.
Well, there you go.
Well, I like the idea of Halloween and everything, and I really have like great ambitions for like when we have a costume party. I really want to do something awesome. Like I really wanted to do like a Khaleesi sort of cosplay costume thing, but it takes too much time.
Just go naked.
Dude.
She's naked a lot of the time.
Dude,
Just show up naked with
Strategically
like
place baby dragons. There you go. Yeah.
exactly. Just do that. So get some like semi-nude like black milk leotardy thingy, whatever, and just stick a couple of dragons on it, and boom, you're done.
And
Nobody
I'm
wants to see that.
Oh,
I said it.
I'm sure there's at least one person who wants to see that.
At least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not me. But let's try and turn it on. Turn it towards movies.
Turn it on.
Yeah. Turn it on.
Turn it on. Turn it on the movie.
This is chaos.
Because I did kind of like a bit of research before the hangout, obviously, but what I kept coming back to was when it was the 1st of October, my roommate came up to me and said, and she was like bouncing up and down and she said, Meta, it's officially Halloween month. We can now watch The Nightmare Before Christmas and not give a shit. And I'm like, well, I normally watch that and not give a shit. But she's like, oh, it's such a Halloween movie. So I'm like, that is actually probably my definition of a Halloween movie. That would be The Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know about you guys.
I wouldn't say it's like the epitome of a Halloween movie because it's both a Halloween movie and a Christmas movie. Because they'll show it on TV at Halloween and then again at Christmas, which I love because I love that movie. But
Yeah, don't be complaining.
my Halloween epitome of Halloween movie is probably Hocus Pocus.
I actually wrote that down.
I love Hocus Pocus. I have such love for that movie. And one of the few times that I ever dressed up when I was younger for Halloween would have been dressing up with two of my friends as the Sanderson sisters, but it was annoying because I always had to be the fat one. And she didn't get to sing either. Like, the other two sung, and I never got to sing. And I'm like, bitch, I'm a better singer than both of you two. Just because I'm fat and I like me my cookies doesn't mean you have to make me the fat one. So, there was that. But I still love that movie.
It's such a great movie. It's like,
I actually have never seen it.
I fucking hate Thora Birch in it, though. Oh my god, she is so annoying.
Can I
But,
confess something to all of you
just
as well?
let them fucking eat her. I don't care.
okay.
Can I whisper a secret?
Myself, I guess I tend to be a bit more traditional in terms of definitely zombies have to be on the top of the watching list. Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead, etc. Those are always good, fun watches. But also watch Scary Movie as an alternative. You can also watch. There's a lot of other things like the Buffy episodes. We were mentioning before the hangout the one where she dresses up, or Once More with Feeling, the Halloween episode also. There's a lot that you can really do. But yeah, myself, I like to load up a lot of zombie-type movies. Nightmare on Elm Street's always a fun one with nice visuals.
But then I guess also I'm sorry, I'll get back to you right away, Liam, but then I guess that we're then going back to sort of what we talked about in the beginning was that what is an actual Halloween movie, because the movies you mentioned are the type of scary movies, and then Kiwi mentioned sort of like a fun musical. I mentioned a cartoon. It's very, very different what people see as a Halloween movie. So would you say that it's mainly scary movies that be characterized as Halloween?
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not just scary movies. Things with a dark nature. Batman, obviously. Then there's one of the picks from Lee Club Strikes Back was actually The Dark Knight Returns, a much more grittier version of the Batman retellings. Things with a dark theme undertone. Not just something blood, gore, and violence either. Scream itself is like a parody of, like Kiwi was mentioning earlier, Scream is like a parody of horror movies. I think then there's a certain broadness to what can be watched in terms of a Halloween movie. If you wanted to do a horror movie specifically, then other movies would be like excluded from that, obviously. Even like Gremlins, I don't think was necessarily scary, but you can still watch Gremlins or Killer Clowns from Outer Space in Halloween.
They're not scary, so, but I guess you do sort of see an uptake in the releases of horror movies during Halloween month. That is the prime sort of advertisement and just the prime time to sort of release those movies. So a lot of horror movies do get that release. Although we have also seen, I can't remember, Paranormal Activity. Some of those movies started coming out in January instead, in February, which is sort of out of place because it has normally been sort of horror movies in October. So I guess that's maybe why we feel that it's branded that way. But, Court.
Yes. I mean, obviously, I feel like the reason that just broad horror movie genre is lumped in as Halloween movies is obviously because Halloween is a time where, you get to dress up and be scary, and they're all sort of the stories like that, and it's about being scared in Halloween houses and stuff like that. But for me, I don't think that all horror movies are Halloween movies. I actually have a very narrow description of what a Halloween movie is. It has to have Halloween in it somewhere. It has to be around that time. It has to at least mention it. If there are people dressing up for Halloween, I think that's great. And the just horror movie genre is in a slightly different section. I still love them, obviously. I love horror, but they're not Halloween movies to me.
Yeah, I think I agree with you
I
on that point that
so
it has to
100%.
include, sorry, Kiwi,
Yeah.
but that it has to include Halloween in some way. Otherwise, it's just a movie released on Halloween.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I think that's why. I mean, I definitely look at movies so Hocus Pocus, like we've already mentioned, that was very Halloweeny, or Halloween Town, or it's a Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is so
Yeah.
100% Halloweeny, as opposed to say something like Saw or Slither. They're kind of scary-ishy movies, but they're not Halloween movies per se.
No, I know
Yeah.
that a lot of people celebrate Halloween by sort of
Mm.
watching scary movies because that's what they define as Halloween, as being something scary, and so you watch a lot of scary movies, not necessarily scary movies with Halloween in the title or something relating to it, but I guess that's maybe why some people would see Saw as a horror movie, but I totally agree. I would not define that as a horror movie at all. Liam.
Um, can I make a wee confession to all of you?
No,
To most of the Halloween films, like Hocus Pocus, I haven't seen any of them.
I haven't seen Hocus
I
What
haven't
Pocus
the
seen.
either.
fuck?
You are all watch. I'm going to make you all watch Hocus Pocus. In some way, I will make it happen.
I love Hocus Pocus. We need to do a big group watching of Hocus Pocus.
scary movies,
Yeah.
not necessarily scary movies with Wow, Halloween
Who's
in it. I'm talking and I'm not talking. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm hearing
it was
background
the
talking.
theme of Halloween that was doing it.
Or am I having a nervous breakdown?
Yes, you were
Um,
having a nervous breakdown.
Well,
That's
Liam,
what
what
it
my
is.
did you have?
thoughts on Halloween films, though, I would say to me, they normally have to, have Halloween in it, or they would have to sort of conform to like have some of the elements or the typical, stereotypical Halloween has in it, like vampires, ghouls, ghosts, kind of thing. Those are the kind of films you could watch. Like, I don't think I'd standard slasher would count as a Halloween film to me, but
Really?
yeah, yeah.
I'm almost like the opposite. Like for me, sort of like the epitome of like the masked dude that runs around like killing people and slashing and hacking them up. That to me feels more Halloweeny than things that are vampire-y or zombie or like mythically creaturey related, because those kind of feel more all the time-ish. Whereas yeah, for me, I'm like, oh, if it's a slasher person, that's so Halloweeny for me. I'm
And
just the
one
opposite. Oh my
one
god.
that one that's popping up into my head, I think definitely fits in Halloween type things. Is like, I don't know if you guys remember the old '80s Monster Squad. I think that actually happened on Halloween. I can't remember the specific plot, but the mashup with Jonathan Kukwan and then like Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, kicking Wolfman nards, and what else? Yeah, I can't remember if it was specifically during Halloween, but I definitely think the campiness and a lot of the campiness of the 80 horror movies do qualify as Halloween in terms of like Gremlins and Critters, just by pure campiness also qualify as Halloween.
But then
I have never seen this movie. I'm just IMDbing it right now, but oh my god, it looks so cool. Is this what they were talking about? Like, the new Dracula Untold movie that's just come out? Weren't they talking about how they were wanting to use that as like a lead up to a new Monster Squad type movie?
I don't know anything about it. Now, that'd be, I don't know. Anytime Hollywood tries to resurrect something that's 30, 20 years old, it's like, why? I mean,
I'm
what's
gonna
the,
jump in there real quick and just say, what about 21 Jump Street? Because that shit was amazing.
That shit. Be quick.
Yes.
But the majority of the time, you're right.
yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, see, what was it they were trying to bring back? They were trying to bring back something else, and I just can't remember what it was. But
They always try to bring shit back.
yeah,
No
uh,
one
They're
has
like-
original ideas.
I
They're
mean,
trying to revive, like,
RoboCop remake.
Frankenstein.
The RoboCop remake was like rather disappointment, and at least in my opinion. But
I haven't seen it.
yeah, no spoilers. It sucked.
I don't give a shit about that movie. You can spoil it all you like, my friend.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Hey, Liam. So there's a comment that's just come through on YouTube directed at you from Mr. Rhino Balls going, so Halloween isn't a Halloween movie, Liam? Question mark? Huh?
Yeah,
No,
because
because it's got Halloween in it. It's got Halloween in it.
But you said you thought slasher movies weren't really Halloween movies.
Well,
No, but originally he said it has to have Halloween in it, and then he moved on to a different
okay.
section. So if it's just purely a slasher that has nothing to do with Halloween, then it's not a Halloween movie. I got your back, Liam.
I'll forgive you.
Liam
then.
wins this argument with an assist from Courtney. Thank you.
No.
Yeah.
Courtney wins this argument. You sit back and be number 2 most handsome Scotsman in the world.
Oh!
There he
Oh,
is.
the Yordish feelings.
Liam, come back.
I knew. I somehow I just knew.
You're
I
the
was
most
gonna be the one
attractive Scotsman I
bullied
know.
him. I was gonna bully him away. I just knew it from
Like,
the day we started.
totally, Liam, James McAvoy could totally play you in a movie based on you, but even he couldn't fully capture your awesome Scottishness. Didn't have to bring him back. No.
Is he
Like,
muted?
in the
James
MCSC
McAvoy.
movie, James McAvoy would so play you, and he would get an Oscar for it. Because he would
Yeah.
figure out all the complications of being douchebag with a
Is-
guitar.
We almost had him.
Right, so how
I'm
about
sorry,
that
guys.
local Halloween movie then? What?
I'll show you my boobs, Liam.
You're just looking.
Damn it, that didn't help.
Wow. Brutal. And there he is. He's like, hang on a minute, this is a good selling point.
It can't be bought like that, Meadow. It can just be
Sure
bought.
you can. Sure you can.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Gosh.
'Cause it was just we were talking about that, and you said sort of the classic monsters, werewolves, vampires, and stuff like that. What that would be sort of the a Halloween movie to you. And I was sort of thinking, we do have a lot of these like old monster movies. We have the old Frankenstein, the old Dracula, all these. Would we consider those sort of Halloween horror creatures, or would they just be creatures?
I think it depends on the context, because most of the creatures that we think of have some further back sort of like historical or mythological type pull that they come from. So I mean, they were around long before Halloween as we know it was, even though Halloween was like All Hallows Eve, and so it all kind of converges together. So oh god, I shouldn't have started drinking before this hangout, because but I'm just like that. My train of thought is gone.
My brain don't work.
Monsters. There you go. There's my monsters.
I would,
I was making a point somewhere along the line.
Somewhere in there.
I mean,
there's-
I think
part
the
of that.
reason why you go Batman, because I'll just
I was going to say, I think the point that you were trying to make was that monsters have been around before Halloween, and when Halloween came around, people want to dress as monsters, so they're kind of like two sides of the same coin, is what you're trying to say.
Well, I mean, I guess it really depends on when we're talking about Halloween, though. Are we talking about the current commercialized version of Halloween, or are we talking about Halloween back when it was like,
All
you know,
Hallows Eve.
the All Hallows Eve, and the whole point of why you would dress up so that, you know, you could walk in amongst all the dead that were back and not
Hmm.
get all
Well, I mean,
ziggity up
I
and
mean,
everything. So, I mean, yeah, so they're kind of interchangeable. They all work together. So, I mean, I can understand Liam's point as to why, he sees Halloween movies as more ones that relate to, the monster type aspect of it. But to me, Slash is always going to be more Halloween because how many times were people hacked to bits on Halloween by people dressed up in creepy ass masks?
I know.
I mean,
So
Halloween, what it
they were
is.
bitten by a vampire
Yeah.
on
Halloween, what it is
Halloween.
today, I think also has people wanting to scare each other and prank each other. So I think that's also where the scare movies come in, whether it's like a psychological thriller type movie, uh, uh, not necessarily a monster movie comes in, because you do get the jump scares. Even with what was the very first movie pick that we watched, the Adam. The
Oh,
sort of zombies, but it was like sound.
Oh
What was it?
yeah.
What was that called?
Pontypool, Pontypool,
Yeah,
Pontypool.
Pontypool. I mean, yeah, Pontypool. I mean, I think is a great example of something where you get jump scared, but it's not necessarily like super bloody and gore.
Yeah, the reason I'm actually sort of asking this question is because Tora on our Facebook page, she asked the question, what two horror movie monsters would you want to see in a showdown, and who would win? And I think it's an interesting question, but me thinking about it, I'm not sure I know what I define to be Hollywood, no, not Hollywood, but horror movie monsters. And
I
Don't
so
you
I
mean,
think
would
kind of
say
like a
like,
Freddy versus Jason?
I think so.
Because
yeah.
they've already kind of done
but
Freddy
then I
versus
don't see
Jason.
them as monsters. I see them as slashers, as serial
But
killers,
then
as
again, monster by what definition is that? Humanity? Like when you say someone to someone, you're a monster.
exactly.
Does
But
that
then
mean?
I think that personally, I think a monster is a like a creature that is not necessarily human and has never been human. Maybe.
I mean, I think like monster versus monster might be something like Godzilla versus something out of one of the Pacific Rim
Kaiju.
creatures or something like that.
Kaiju.
Mm,
Yeah,
kaiju.
or something along those lines. From like monster versus monster. If we're talking specifically Halloween, that's a good question actually. I mean, like I think Darkstalkers, for instance, not the TV one, but the shorter miniseries one. I think also is kind of Halloweenish, but and also kind of I guess monsters with Felicia and being that cat type person and then whatnot. That,
Did you say fellatio?
no, Felicia.
Uh, wait,
Felicia.
Felicia, as in Felicia Day. Monsters
Yeah.
with Felicia Day.
Well,
Okay.
there you go. But
Such a
yeah, she's a
monster.
cat person in that series. Hold on a second.
Well, I'm not. Then again, I'm not like really sure what I actually think would be a monster, but I guess that I would say if I go by sort of my own definition, where a monster is not necessarily a human being, I would say Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas versus damn, because like Oogie Boogie would win. I'm just saying.
I
I'm
got
just
mine.
saying. Yeah,
I got
give
mine.
me yours.
All right, that creepy ass fucking thing from Jeepers Creepers, which scared the shit out of me, versus the creepy scarecrow dude thing from that episode of Supernatural where it was like that pagan-y god
Oh
thing.
God, yes.
Yes,
Oh.
that would freak me the fuck out. Plus, it would be who would win? Because I don't really want either of them to win. Because I want them both dead.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go.
Well, and that's why you call supernatural people in at the end of that fight just to kill all them
Yes,
sons
you
of bitches.
The
do.
supernatural
Gary
people.
can come
You
save
mean the
the
most
day.
handsome
Oh,
boys
so
in the
sorry.
world?
Sam Winchester,
Mm-hmm.
Dean Winchester.
Yes, thank you, my darling.
I watched the show
Mm-hmm.
Meta. I'm caught up
Are
eventually.
you sure?
I don't watch the show.
Oh my god, fucking
I
Courtney.
completely
Oh my
made
god,
up
you've got it.
past
If
nine.
you love Buffy and like Angel and shit like that, you're gonna
It's
love
one of those
Supernatural.
things I've never gotten around to. There's
Oh
so
my god,
much
do it.
crap on my list.
It lost me so bad after season 3 or 4, I think.
Okay.
Right around the time when Angel started entering the play, it lost me.
Oh,
But
you see,
season
I
1
think
is good.
they had like one. I like it as it got further along because then they started taking the piss out of themselves more as well. Like it started
Mhm.
becoming really like meta, and the fact of like they
The
were
French
almost
Mistake.
like
The French Mistake. Such a good episode.
oh
Yeah,
god,
but
okay. I just watched 9 seasons of it back to back. I can't remember the names of
it's the one
episodes.
where they go into the real world and they're like
Yes.
Yes.
the actors in real life. So
Like
good.
you go
Yes.
past the Gilmore Girls set when it's Sam.
Yes.
Oh yes! Oh my god, that one was so funny. And he's just like, "Oh god, let's get out of here." So
Yeah.
funny. Like when they start like incorporating the actual like fans into the show as well, it's oh my god, it gets so much more hilarious.
And your
Yes,
boyfriend is in it as well, Kiwi.
he is.
Yeah.
Yay! I love Gus. He's such a cool dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. So that was my pick on Monster versus Monster.
Courtney,
Jeepers Creepers versus Creepy Scarecrow. Because scarecrows are creepy. I
oh,
don't like
Liam, do you have one? Sorry, I skipped over you.
I think if we were to go with vampires being a Halloween monster, then I reckon we should put Dracula against Edward Cullen.
Dracula
Ty,
just fucked
be the
that shit
quickest
up.
Ty. Yeah, but that's the point,
I would
isn't
still
it? To
watch
see, like,
it, but
It's a joke.
doesn't
Doesn't
it
get
the
Edward
benefit, though,
Cullen.
to see Edward Cullen just get like ripped to sparkly ass pieces and just scattered
Oh, yeah.
across the land?
oh, so,
Oh yeah,
so awesome.
pretty awesome.
That's basically
Dracula.
like a perfect description of an evening right there. Just watching him getting killed.
Can I add to mine? So we've got the creepy, kind of scarecrowy, creepy thing from Jeepers Creepers, the creepy scarecrow pagan god thing from Supernatural against Scarecrow from Batman.
Oh,
But
My beautiful scarecrow.
Oh, I love that
Because then
scarecrow.
Then
my
if we have
Cillian Murphy.
then at least I have someone to root for. I'm like, well, I would rather he win. He may be kind of slightly deranged in the head, but at least he's
So
pretty.
pretty.
The other
He's
two,
so
not
pretty.
so much. Yeah.
Also, it's very disturbing. I saw him in Red Eye, and I was like, I don't mind being kidnapped by him. That's kind of
No.
weird.
Have you seen Breakfast on Pluto? Because he's a very pretty woman.
Oh, really?
Halloween movies.
All right, sorry, Liam. Courtney, did you have a suggestion
No,
for this,
because
or
like my favorite horror movies honestly aren't ones with monsters in them. It's usually like supernatural elements, and I don't think you can pit like the essence of the devil against anything.
You can put the essence of the devil against Buffy, and Buffy will win.
Well, that's true. But
Buffy
Buffy
always
isn't a
wins.
monster, so that argument is invalid.
Well, no, I can't get into spoilers. Never mind. We agreed we wouldn't.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Um,
I've got some interesting thoughts to bounce off you, Courtney, later on.
Okay.
All right. Well,
tiny ass dog is taking up way too much room.
I guess we should maybe move on a bit because I can't remember who I was going to pit up in against Oogie Boogie, and it kind of annoys me. But let's just say the Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness Monster would win. Yeah,
Or
I have.
what's it called? Cthulhu or the Kraken.
Loch Ness Monster.
Summon the Kraken.
She's scary.
It's scary. Well, let's move on then. So we've talked about the sort of ways that we see Halloween movies and what types of monsters that could be in it, but what kind of Halloween movies do we find really scary, and what really scares us in the movie?
Okay,
Me?
can I?
What?
Well, can I just say that maybe we need to quantify that question just a tiny bit more, because if we're really talking about things that really scare us in movies, then I can't watch Knocked Up, because the thought of like babies coming out of that tunnel, that is scarier
Okay.
than fucking any ass scary movie I can even think of. So
Stuff that
perhaps
will
we
try to kill you, and I know you think babies will try to kill you,
babies
but no.
will try and kill you. At the very
Babies
least, they will
will
try
not
and suck
kill you.
the life out of you.
That's what they are. They're
Well
little
spotted.
parasites for a good
I'm gonna go first then you can bounce off of me, Kiwi.
Okay.
Okay? So when I was younger, I was super, super scared of slashers and really, really scared of serial killers. I thought that a
But
serial
now you love them.
Now I love him. Now I love him. Like, I couldn't watch a movie with a serial killer in it because I felt like, okay, next time I'm home alone, I'm gonna die. That's just how it is. I watch this movie, I'm gonna die. And so, moving further along, I was so scared of zombies. In zombie movies, I could not watch them at all. Now I started watching them. Now I am fucking terrified of paranormal shit. I cannot watch it at all. I have not watched any of the Paranormal Activity movies because I will literally shit my bed. It's not happening. It's just not happening. I will rather watch Saw on repeat, than watch Paranormal Activity. So there you go.
I
That's
love
what
that.
I mean about what's scary.
Well, I mean, I do have an answer for this one, and it has not changed. Like, I mean, I still get a little bit creeped out watching serial killer movies or things that make use of jump scares, because I constantly creep out with the whole jump scares. But if I was to pick the one sort of like element that kind of traditionally shows up in Halloween-y type movies that still scares me, is anything to do with fucking clowns. Because ever since Harry played Pennywise, I have been I can't even watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That
Or, like,
movie's funny as hell.
I know
That
it's
movie
funny, but
sucks
it still
balls.
scares me because just clowns are creepy. I mean, well, most carnival folk in general are as well, with their like the little hands and like their, unwashed attitudes and their ability to try and screw you over on the ring toss. Although whenever I get drunk enough, I think I'd make a really good carny, but I wash too much, so therefore I would, smell too good to be a carny. But that's beside the point. Clowns are scary.
Yeah.
No, I mean they're
It's the
definitely
makeup.
creepy. I think the scariest clown movie I've ever seen was It by Stephen King.
Yeah, Pennywise.
Seriously, Tim Curriger's Pennywise, I'm fucking terrified. I don't know why, but I bought that movie and I have it sitting there, and I'm just like, I can't watch it. I can't.
I've heard
I'm
stuff
gonna.
about it, and I'm just, nope.
Yeah.
Just on the
But,
nope train to fuck
I mean,
you, Bill.
I think for myself, movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, those type of movies don't scare me too much in terms of those are more like they're blatantly fictional. They're like more in the realms of not realism. When it comes to more real things like psychotic slasher type movies, that gets in my brain space because that can be something that could actually really happen when you're having someone chase you down, trying to kill you. In terms of a realistic type psychotic, I'm more scared of those. Get me like thinking in my brain more than fantasy or fictional type movies.
Then you should honestly live in Denmark because we have about 30 murders a year. So you'd be pretty safe from a serial killer here.
Yeah,
Just
move to New
saying.
Zealand.
Just saying. But that's
You would not
actually
be
like
safe from slashers here.
that's like the problem for me too, is that when I was younger, that sounds really weird. I had a really big problem with separating fiction and reality. I felt as soon as I watched something that was an actual thing that could happen to me. I remember being like 11 years old and watching a scene from a movie that like traumatized me. where some people are breaking into a house and this woman is there and she doesn't know they're there, so she goes to investigate a sound, and this guy comes from behind and he like kills her on the stairs. And since then, I was afraid to walk upstairs. Hey, that's kind of a problem when you live in a 2-story house.
I mean, what was it recent? Oh, The Purge. The Purge was
Oh, yeah.
real scary to me because that's like more grounded in reality, not necessarily real, but I mean, could be real if the United States ever decided to have one day where everyone just let loose and kill people, each other.
Well, I
It's like,
think that's where
um,
I'm now learning to sort of separate it, because obviously I live in a place where this shit doesn't happen. Like, nobody just goes on a random murdering spree, and nobody just decides to have like a purge in some weird part of the country. It's the like the what's it like these the likelihood of that happening is so tiny that it's not something that I should be afraid of. And then
sure.
the whole zombie movie is like, I don't know, I have a talk with my dad, and he's like giving me like real sound arguments for why I should not be worried that I'm gonna die in the zombie apocalypse. Because one thing is for sure, if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm gonna die first, because I don't run fast. So that
No, you don't have to run fast. You just have to run faster than the slowest person. So all you do is just cut a bitch. That's what I'll do. Like,
I'll
if
be the
I'm
slowest
in
person there.
danger of coming last, I'll cut someone and take someone out, and I will sacrifice them to save myself. Like,
I
I
would die so
plan on
much.
surviving the zombie apocalypse. So you probably don't want to team up with me, because I probably will. I love you to death,
will
but I'll probably
sacrifice
sacrifice you. Yeah,
No,
I'll
but
totally
honestly,
sacrifice
if I
you.
had a
So,
gun, 1 bullet left, I'd kill myself just to be on the safe side, because I don't want to be a zombie. But it's one of those things where I can sort of rationalize it away, say, I shouldn't be afraid of this, because what's the likelihood of that happening? Paranormal stuff, I can't say that it's not there, but I can say that it is there, and that really, really scares me, because I can't be a rational human being and say, well, this is just fiction, that will never happen, and blah, 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 blah. Because I genuinely don't know, and that really fucking scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Yeah,
went
I
on
can-
for way too long.
No, I can see that. It's why I'd probably find movies like the first couple of Saw movies a little bit scarier than, say, something like um, I'm drawing a blank on a comparison.
Yeah, that one.
Um,
That one terrified me.
Yeah, that one. Oh my god, it is like the creepiest movie ever. But yeah, no, because like with the first couple of Saw movies, it wasn't so crazy and ridiculously out there, and it was stuff that you were like, okay, this could totally happen. Again, though, not really Halloween-y based. But I can understand how you would be more scared of those than anything else. Oh, can I just quickly throw back to the YouTube comments for a second? Sean, for his monster mashup, Spike, aka William the Bloody, versus Lestat. That's a showdown I would pay for to
Like
see.
Lestat.
I would pay to watch Spike kill anyone.
Spike, Lestat, and who was the third one?
No, it isn't. So William the Bloody. So not so much when he was Spike, but when he was like full on in his William the Bloody type.
Then definitely William the Bloody. I mean,
Yeah.
Especially if we're talking Spike before the thing happened, and definitely William the Bloody.
Yeah, especially compared to Lestat. Like, Lestat is cool and all, don't get me wrong, but
No, he's not. He's not cool.
he was kind of cool. Yeah, he's kind of
Cool
cool.
and cool.
No, shut up, he was kind of cool.
Really cool.
I'm not sure I know what we're
He was
talking
kind of
Trust me,
cool.
I know
Shut
what
up,
cool
bitch.
And,
I know what
You
cool
have
is. He's
no
not cool.
idea what it is. You've got no
well,
clue
the
what it is.
one exception to the whole real versus fiction, though, I'd have to say was the original Final Destination. I will not watch Final Destination before I get on a plane or anything dealing with Lost. I just will not watch anything like that prior to taking a flight.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I believe it.
I know.
Yeah, that movie's kind of scary. I can see that.
One movie I watched right before I had my first surgery was a movie called Awake.
Oh no, that
where
sounds awful.
It's about Hayden Christensen's the main character. He goes for a heart transplant, and he suffers from anesthetic awareness.
Oof.
No.
Yeah.
No, 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 no,
Stop
no.
talking.
Thing where people are trying to kill him, backstab him while when he's in surgery.
No.
Yeah, and I watched that right before I went in for surgery on myself, so I was losing my shit the next day.
Why? Why would you do that, you dumbass?
I think the night before the first time I flew, I watched the original Final Destination. I cried my eyes out on the plane.
Oh my god, you people.
I
But
think I've
then,
done
like, I've done a weird turnaround where I don't watch the movie as much, but there's a song that I used to listen to that involved a plane crash, and I would always listen to that song on the plane. It became a weird ritual for me.
that.
I don't know.
But what do you
Personally,
guys? Nothing really
horror film.
scares you?
See,
I told you.
because
Baby's
my
reborn.
my thing about being scared, like, I am so desensitized. When I was a kid and my friends and I would have slumber parties, we'd like go to the video store and immediately make a beeline for the horror section. Because of that, we watched so many like B movies and foreign horror films just on accident. And I developed a real love for the genre, so it's hard to be scared. Like, I love jump scares because those usually can scare me, at least for a second. But like whenever I was watching The Conjuring, I was sitting in the theater just going like, I love everything about this, with this huge like creepy smile plastered on my face. Not scared, just happy.
I think me watching a horror movie being all excited about it would potentially scare me. Because I'd be sitting there thinking, good lord. Actually, that's right, that's what scares me. The amount of like the crime and investigation channel that my husband watches, that's what scares me, because it constantly makes me think, why is he so interested in how these people got away with murder? And he's just sitting there going,
Oh god, he's taking notes.
He is. That would scare me.
Why does he keep rewatching the one where he murders his wife? I don't get it.
It makes no sense. Devil films are set in my head.
He only seems to watch it when he's upset.
When you don't
he
cook his
only
dinner.
watches that How to Murder Your Wife episode when I've done something to annoy him. I don't
Is that like the How I Met Your
understand.
Mother
Is he
film?
trying to say something?
Yep.
I don't get it.
No, I don't think so. I think he just likes it.
Mm.
You have nothing to worry about.
No, nothing at all.
When I was a kid, the kind of movie that would scare me was the movie that had any form of rejection of a girl. Because that was what I was
Pathetic.
terrified at. At the time, I was terrified of that happening. So, yeah. I couldn't watch a movie that had that in it. Oh no. That was a bad joke, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man.
But
Now I don't know how to segue into something else.
You're welcome.
You ruined
we had
everything.
a really good question from Janet actually about our favorite Halloween movies in each category.
Yeah, I was trying to transition into that, but I was like, I don't know how to do that. So if you want to take a stab at it.
I think we just go transition.
There we go.
There we go.
Starlight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just say segues are weird and then go on to the new topic.
Yeah, okay. Well, Janet's question is favorite Halloween movies in each category, and she lists scary / paranormal, funny, and horror / slasher.
Horror slash.
Slasher. And then I'll say scary paranormal. None, because I don't watch that shit, because it scares the pants off of me. B, the funny would probably be, I don't know, again, Nightmare Before Christmas. Probably. And horror slasher, that would probably be the Halloween movies, though I don't seem to like them that much, but they are classics, and they are good slasher movies. That would be my pick. Courtney, what's your favorite scary movie?
Supernatural, I would probably just go ahead and go with The Conjuring. I did really like that, although I am also really excited for Annabelle.
Is that no, The Conjuring, is that the one with the box?
No, I think no, that one's Hellraiser. I think you're thinking about.
No,
The
no, no,
Conjuring
no.
just came out a couple of years ago. It was about a family who moved into a house and they think it's, scary shit is happening, especially in the basement. And these two paranormal psychologists or whatever they're called come into the house. And
Oh, that one.
it's the one with the lead guy from Insidious.
Yeah, I know.
His name, but he's highly attractive and I like him.
Yep.
And he's
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to Annabelle, which is loosely associated with The Conjuring, because that's coming out soon.
That's
Yeah,
the one with the doll,
crazy.
right?
Yes, that's the one with the doll.
Ugh.
For funny, Cabin in the Woods is my go-to.
Oh, yeah.
It's my humor. It's Whedon. It's Whedon humor, so of course.
But then again, is that like Halloween?
I mean, it's got both sci-fi and horror elements. And
Technically, it's got all the
Oh,
monsters in
that's
it.
true. Okay, sorry. I thought it was horror movies. Okay, Halloween then.
It's got all
No,
the-
see, that's where I get stuck
I don't
on the
watch
Halloween.
Yeah, that's the thing, because so few movies that I watch that are like scary are what I would consider Halloween movies. So I'm just gonna put Hocus Pocus in all of them. Doesn't fit. Except for
It does fit in the
paranormal.
funny.
Well, scary paranormal, I feel like it still fits in paranormal. And it's funny. It's just not a slasher movie. And if we're gonna just say horror slasher as its own category, I really liked You're Next, which is on Netflix now.
But that doesn't sound familiar.
I haven't watched that one.
Yeah, it was I
That's
think
not-
2012.
Hmm.
It's sort of your run-of-the-mill slasher movie, but I also found it hilarious. I don't know if other people will.
I mean, then again, I still have to actually see Hostel too. And
I am not watching that.
Hostel at all.
I wouldn't
I
mind
watched
Hostel too
the
much.
first one, and then my brother.
I mean, I haven't seen Hostel. I didn't even know there was a Hostel 2, but Hostel also, I should say.
Yeah, I think Hostel 2 is the second one is on Netflix, but the original isn't.
Or the third one
Sounds
is
like
on
it.
Or the
Netflix.
third one is. Is there? I don't even know how many there are.
No.
There's a lot.
I just know that that would be typical of Netflix to have a sequel and not the original movie.
Of course not.
They're bitch.
Although I think, honestly, Mita, you'd be fine with
I
watching
think-
something like Hostel because
Hello?
you're like a European type person, and so they'd get less cash for you because people apparently want to kill like Americans and stuff.
I know.
Because that's how you get a higher price. Sorry, Courtney and Dom, but
Then
you guys-
imagine.
America has a reputation.
yeah. So
I
you
watched
can-
like half of Hostel, like when you get to the part where all that shit is going down, and I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna take the nope train. That's fine. And then the day after, my brother announces that he's gonna go on a 3-month tour of Eastern Europe.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, well.
But you'd be fine. Just don't hang out with Eastern European women.
Yeah, because my 21-year-old
ultimate
little
honey
brother
trap.
would not do
And if
that.
you're gonna be if you're gonna get a room at the Hilton, not a hostel.
Yeah.
Hey,
It was like,
then at the Hilton,
I
you just
I
don't
told
know.
him he should not stay in hostels, but then he's like, oh no, it's fine, we'll just do couch surfing. Yeah, because that's so much more safe.
Yeah,
It's a miracle he survived and didn't get raped or something. Man.
Well,
Sorry, I just hijacked this whole thing.
no, you're okay.
Kiwi.
I'm still trying to think. Trying to think. So for like the scary paranormally type ones, again, I find it really difficult to pick one that I would say specifically is a Halloween movie because to me, I do kind of interchange the horror and Halloween together. But I mean things like House on Haunted Hill, both the original Vincent Price one and the one that came out in like the late 90s, and Drag Me to Hell. For funny. You know what? For funny, I would pick movies like Slither, or Hocus Pocus, because I love me some Hocus Pocus. And if we're gonna go for like slasher and stuff, then I don't think you can beat either Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween.
Mm.
I mean, it's right there in the title. Best Halloween slasher, Halloween.
Mm.
Dom, do you have any?
Let's see. Yeah, like Kiwi, I guess I interchange horror and
I think a lot of us do.
Halloween. So,
Yeah.
I mean, with that as the parameters, and I definitely think for scary, I have a lot of movies I like. The favorite one is hard to pick. I mean, Final Destination is that don't get on a plane with it in your brain space, so that's definitely up there in terms of horror. I mean, it's not necessarily like your Freddy or whatnot, but still, it's more like fucks with your brain sense. For funny, I have to go for Killer Clowns on Outer Space, just due to the campiness, and it's just, for me, fun, but I can understand how that would creep other people out. And then Slasher. Wait, I had something in my brain and now it's slipping. Maybe I need to put the Batman mask back on instead of Dragonborn. Let's see, what was the third one that I had in my brain? Not really a movie, but for a psychological type one, the game Heavy Rain, which I've talked about before, I think is good for like a psychological type. It tries to mess with your mind type deal. And, just it's not scary necessarily, but it's more of a psychological type deal.
Hmm.
I still hate that game.
I haven't played it, but I do think, like, as I said before, I think you guys are right that we do really exchange the horror genre for the Halloween, because there's not really a Halloween specific genre, and it's easier just to say, well, that's just horror.
Yeah.
So I think, if I was going to change my choices, I would say instead of, like, my favorite slasher movie would probably just be Scream instead of Halloween, because I love me some Ghostface.
Me too. Can you believe it?
Liam, what do you think about this whole thing?
My favorite supernatural, if we're just throwing the whole Halloween thing, just including any horror film into it, my favorite supernatural one would be Mirrors. It's very
I
good.
almost thought you said metas, and I'm like, multiple me's are not that scary.
Terrifying.
Wow, that's debatable, love.
Hey,
I think it sounds like a party.
and a party in your pants.
A really scary party in my pants, which I'm not okay with. I think.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
But Mirrors is a good. It crosses supernatural and psychological quite well. But the first time I saw it, I couldn't. For different reasons than the norm, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. So that was the thing. And for funny, I would say Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Shaun of the
See,
Dead is
I mean, I
hilarious.
tried to, I'm looking at Shaun of the Dead right now on my rack of DVDs, and I wanted to pick it, but again, I was trying to think
Halloween.
of Halloween-y type ones, but yeah, the more I think about it, the more they just kind of interchange. Although, Sean in the YouTube comments has just brought up a movie that I've never even heard of, Trick or Treat. That came out in like 2007, and it's got like Anna Paquin and Brian Cox and Dylan Baker and stuff in it. It looks freaking awesome, and I don't know how I've never seen this, so I'm going to go find this movie afterwards and watch the shit out of it, because it looks pretty damn cool. It's got that dude in it whose name I can't say because it's really weird, like the guy who was like in Dollhouse and was in like the last season of Supernatural and stuff. Oh,
that guy. Oh, yeah.
That dude. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Courtney should know who he is.
I don't know. Okay, is it trick or treat? That thing?
Treat, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So it's a
Yeah.
pirate saying title. Trick or treat.
Treat.
Yeah.
Why won't you come watch me horror movie? It's real scary enough.
Trying to find it,
Yeah.
but my
Yeah.
internet's running.
Liam, you
It's
can just finish your thought then.
Oh yeah. Slasher. I would probably say Halloween actually, because that was the first horror film I saw. So I would say that. They
I
just
didn't actually watch them until recently. And then I watched the remakes, which I guess you should never ever do because the remakes just really suck.
they're really bad.
But like I actually thought that the first remake was okay. The second one was just like, are you even trying? Are you even home?
They're not good.
But I do like the Halloween because it is also it's a Halloween movie, as we've talked about, but it's also like the stereotypical horror or slasher movie. And I kind of like that because you know where to place it and you know what you get basically. Yeah, sorry. I just read a comment and that made me giggle.
You're welcome.
Yep. Thanks. Thanks for that one.
Can I, since we are talking about Halloween, I know we're talking about Halloween movies, I would just like to talk about Halloween TV for a second. And the fact of, I love how so many TV shows, especially if they're long-running TV shows, will always tend to do a Halloween episode. Like, you know, things like Buffy, and I think Angel did one as well. I know that Supernatural has done a lot of them. The Simpsons does it every year.
Oh,
and they do
yes, Treehouse of Horrors. I love
Oh my God, yes.
those.
Right.
So I love how a lot of TV shows will do like a Halloween episode, even if it, like I think even Gilmore Girls has done ones. I mean, it usually revolves a lot more around like, you know, just how people treat Halloween typically anyway. And you know that Lorelai and Rory are going to do like Halloween good because they're Lorelai and Gilmore, and pretty much every day is Halloween with them, with the
Did they
amount
have
of like
a Halloween
chocolate candy.
episode? I can't think of it.
Well,
Was
I
it
think they
season
did.
7?
I think they
'Cause
just
I
sort
didn't
of
watch
more.
season 7.
I think they just more like addressed Halloween in the show.
Okay.
Like I
I
think
think what probably
Halloween
would have
happened
happened,
throughout the course of it.
Halloween was going on, and then everything else that was already going to be going on just went on
Yeah,
top of it.
just sort of went on around it. But I don't necessarily like, because they would have done something at Stars Hollow. So yeah, didn't they do the corn maze? Wasn't that big, huge, giant corn maze that took up the whole of Stars Hollow happened during Halloween?
I
Yeah.
have no idea what you're even talking about. So again, was that in season 7?
I don't know. I can't
I didn't
remember.
watch that because that season was shit.
But
No such thing.
Actually,
as shit
I have
hamburgers.
2 questions now. I just thought of it. First one is Sleepy Hollow a Halloween movie in your mind?
sure, why not? I mean, that's got. I mean, we're talking about Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I don't see why not. Got a decapitated guy riding a horse. Actually, that's the most I really remember of the movie.
Wow, if
remember
that
Christina
doesn't
Ricci?
scream Halloween, I don't know what does.
It's just because when I was researching, that came up as a Halloween one, and thinking about it, it's been a long time since I watched Sleepy Hollow, but I did think that it would sort of, in our definition, if a movie has Halloween in it, or revolves around Halloween in some type of way, that it would be a Halloween movie. So I would categorize it as a Halloween movie.
And I just remembered another one that it's not centered around Halloween, but it mentions, I'm pretty sure it was just the Addams Family. I don't think it was Addams Family Values, but Addams Family, because I just remember, Wednesday, what are you dressed up as? A homicidal maniac. It looks like everybody else.
Everybody else, yes.
Oh, God, I love Christina Ricci.
So awesome.
So good. My second question was sort of going on yours, Kiwi, about Halloween TV and old TV episodes. I guess we've all watched at least a bit of Simpsons. And we have
Yeah.
probably watched some Tree Houses of Horror. Which one is your favorite? Mine would have to be, what is it, The Shining, that they call it, the
Yeah.
parody. That is so good. No TV and no beer makes
No, beer
Homer
make Homer.
Oh yeah,
something.
yeah, that one definitely. Yeah, I
Something,
definitely remember.
something. Go crazy?
Mm.
Don't mind if I do.
I love
Yeah.
that one. So, do you guys have a favorite?
Oh God, now that's the only one I can think of.
Right? Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
think of the others now.
There's
I mean,
also
I think I like any of the ones that had Aang and Kang in it, the aliens.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
right. Mm.
I think the one, when they, the one when they like kidnapped Marge because they wanted her to help repopulate and they were like, and we've studied your guys' mating rituals, and you can either have behind the alleyway or in the back seat of a Camaro, or
Yeah, that's right.
and I'm just like, you want to laugh and go, that's not right, but at the same time, you're like, it kind of is. So,
Mm.
yeah, I love that one.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. It's also good, the one where he has the magic toaster, and he can travel back in time and change stuff, and he's like, all right, don't kill anything, and he just kills all the dinosaurs, and like the future changes completely. And
Yeah, I
it's
remember
just-
that.
That was a good one.
Or the one that gave me a bit of nightmares, where the school cafeteria serves the children as food.
Oh. Yeah.
That made me never want to go to an American high school.
Mm.
Because it's all based on reality.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I think that's the one that is making fun of the movie. What was it? Silent Dreams as People.
Mm.
Um,
I can't think of it's like, as soon as, like, I've seen them all so many times, as soon as I sit down to watch it, I know exactly what the episodes are, but when you try and think of them, just totally draw a blank.
I mean, I don't know if it's considered Halloween or not, but Family Guy did an episode where it's like the world gets nuked and Peter and his family are trying to find
The
what
Twinkie
was it?
Factory.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
I just
that
watched
one.
that
And it's
the other
like,
day.
and they meet the one guy who's like the piano guy who's playing the playing to what they're doing, and
She
And
takes
that
an
one-
apple, rubs it on her blouse.
mm,
She's gonna bite. No, she's gonna blow on it first.
yeah.
All right, Kiwi, did you have a question?
I do have a question. Although now that
That
it's
will
time
be
for
our
me to
last one then.
now that it's time for me to ask a question, I can't remember how I was going to word it. But okay, so you know how when it comes time for Halloween and you're thinking about dressing up as a costume, there's always like the standards to dress up as, like, your monsters and your witches and your ghouls and all that type of stuff. But like, what are sort of some of your favorite characters from movies that weren't like horror type movies but have now become like something that you dress up as at Halloween? Like, I always loved it, like right after Jersey Shore came out and everyone would dress up as Snooki, because that was like scary as shit. Or like, for some reason, Austin Powers is still like something that a lot of people dress up as. Or when, Psy and Gundam Style first came out, all of a sudden that was like the big thing to dress up as for Halloween that year. So like, what have been some characters that have not come out as like a traditional Halloween type character, but are now almost known more now as like a character that you dress up with at Halloween?
Britney
that's
Circa
obvious.
2007.
Hmm?
Bald
I think it's
Britney Circa
obvious.
2007. That's
Yeah.
some scary shit.
Yeah. I think Dom's got it right though. Any of the superheroes now, like, it's kind of
I mean,
it's
with myself, it doesn't exist in terms of like buying it at Amazon, and it's not necessarily a movie. But if I were able to, I would want to like dress up as a Vault Dweller from the Fallout series, especially the blue and yellow spandex that they wear is really cool. Or even if someone had like some of the power armor from that game series, I'd love to see that. I do know that is big in terms of the cosplay, and area, people do dress up a lot in terms of that video game. And that's something that I would like to. And myself, I'm just more the Batman, partly out of laziness, partly out of fanboyism. So, and it's readily available. But yeah, I'd like to dress something out of Fallout actually.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think,
I mean, I think the reason, sorry, just really quickly, I think the reason why I first sort of thought of this question, though, is because remember when we all watched Elvira for Movie Club, and then we also just mentioned Adam's Family Values as well. Like, those movies are absolutely awesome, but you still automatically think of Elvira and Morticia Addams as a Halloween character to dress up as, possibly more than a movie character.
yeah. Oh, definitely. I think actually also now, as we have mentioned a bunch of times in earlier hangouts as well, is that focus is also shifting a bit towards TV now, and I think a lot of the characters we dress up are, for example, characters from Game of Thrones, Flash, Arrow, just
Walking
a
Dead.
bunch, Walking Dead, exactly. A bunch of these things that we would normally not consider either heroes, which is the typical one, or villains that you would dress up as. But as we mentioned, like I mentioned previously, I can't remember if it was on Hangout or off Hangout, that I really wanted to dress up as Khaleesi. It's typical pop culture, and I think that that's what we're going into now and seeing a lot more TV show inspired costumes. But then again, we still know the characters as the TV show characters, not because of the costume. Nobody goes up to anyone with dragons on her and asks, "Oh, so you're that person or something." I don't know where it's from. That's
Or Rick's hat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or somebody dresses up as Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Janet on YouTube just sort of brought up that it wasn't her, but a few years back, pretty much every guy was dressing up as Borat
Oh,
in the dodgy mankini.
oh
Nope.
God.
Yeah.
Not me. Never me.
Just
No,
those
no.
two.
I feel like pop culture, costumes are quick for people who, like, honestly maybe don't want to get a lot of thought into it. I mean, not in all cases, but for stuff like Borat, it's like, oh, what's big now? I'll just do that. Everybody will know it. But I do sort of like, honestly, I sort of like how it's not traditional scary monsters anymore that people dress up as for Halloween. It's sort of segued into this, like, cosplay light scenario.
Yeah.
Which
I
I'm
think
into.
it's a lot of people's almost like first foray into cosplay.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
usually start with like a good Halloween costume and go from there.
I mean, if I have to, at some point, do a Halloween party and have to dress up, I would probably get the Black Milk Wonder Woman costume or the Batman costume, because I could just walk out about with my bum and my legs out an entire evening and say it's a costume. What you gonna do about it?
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the going back on video games, one of the it's kind of like a joke in the gaming community. Now you can have a cardboard cardboard box, and you'd be a costume for the video game, the Solid Snake series. What the hell is it called? I'm blanking. Basically, one of the characters. What was that?
Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid. He goes, and at least one of the video games, he goes around when he's being a box over himself, and no one can detect him for whatever reason. A lot of people have adopted that as a costume.
Or you could go cover box and pretend to be a Dalek, because we all know that those things are terrifying. Am I right? I'm wrong.
No, they're not terrifying. Daleks are not terrifying.
No, they're not.
Exterminate!
Personally, I always go as
Exterminate.
I tend to go as these because of the long hair and beard thing I've got going on. I'm now stuck with the Robin Hood or the people in the Hobbit, and that's about it. So,
Hey,
or
I'm
Yeah,
sure you could find
you have
other
furry
people with
femium.
beards and longish hair.
just
You have furry
thinking
femium?
anyone from Game of Thrones that I
well,
can
yeah,
think
Khal
of.
Drogo.
but you know
Yeah,
that kind of thing, not
Oh my god.
specifically from The Hobbit, but that kind
Get the
of thing,
wig.
you know,
Anyone
families
dressed
like
up as
old
Khal
warriors.
Drogo?
Hmm.
I want a
I'll
piece.
go with Khal Drogo.
Hmm.
I like Khal Drogo.
Okay.
Very
I mean, that
beautiful
would
piece of
be
man.
topless, wearing not much on the bottom, and tan.
Well, you gotta have the hair.
Oh yeah, the hair too.
Yeah, the hair. The hair is important. Don't forget the hair.
The hair's very important.
Yeah,
You only cut it whenever you lose a battle.
yeah.
Very important.
All his power is in the hair. Like
Like
Samson.
Samson.
Yeah, exactly.
Jinx.
Oh yeah. I haven't lost a fight in a while, guys. Just saying. Anyway, should we move on?
But yeah, we don't really actually have that much else to move on to unless you guys have a last minute question.
I think, I just think trying to differentiate just a Halloween movie from a horror movie is a difficult thing to do because of the fact that so many of us have them interchange as one. But it really depends on what you want to do on Halloween. Like, are you the type of person that likes to watch movies in order to try and scare yourself? Or do you like watching really cheesy B-grade movies because you find them funny? Or, yeah, it's like, yeah. Halloween is just a topic, is a bit difficult. But yeah.
Yeah, it is difficult because as we have talked about plenty of times now, we do sort of set like an equal sign. Stop doing that.
Sorry. I don't think anyone was watching.
Oh, dude, I saw that. I saw that.
Everybody's always watching Kiwi.
Everybody's
You're on the
watching
internet.
TV. And when you do something like that, everybody will see it.
It's noticed.
Yeah, it's not just brushing your teeth, is it?
I totally was brushing my teeth.
With what?
Hairbrush
Yeah,
Brushing your teeth with what, Kiwi?
with an imaginary penis. Here you go.
that's always how I brush my teeth. But yes, we do sort of equate Halloween movies to be horror movies, and I think that's kind of sad because there's a lot more to do involving Halloween in some way that does not have to be scary, does not have to relate to All Hallows Eve or have to relate to, the fact that it's supposedly the one evening where everybody just walks the earth and all spirits and all that shit. You can do something like Hocus Pocus or The Nightmare Before Christmas and still have it be successful and still have it be a stereotypical Halloween movie. And I like that. So, unless anybody has any finishing remarks, I think we should just tell everybody who we've been and what we've been doing.
Okay. I'm now Rick with Rick's Hat, formerly Batman, formerly Baxorn. You can find my stuff on youtube.com/Baxorn. I'm also on Twitter, Twitch, and a bunch of social medias. I talk crap about movies and anime. Sometimes I put stuff up while I'm not wearing anything, and when I'm not doing any of that, I find your videos and put them in lists for Movie Club Strikes Back, so it makes other people easier to find your videos next.
I'm Courtney, formerly Ghostface. You can find me on most social media platforms at Courtney Garrett or youtube.com/rhetoricalfoil. I have been gone for a while, but I did just upload a video, more vlog style, the other day, and I'm trying to get back into movie club stuff.
I'm Kiwi.
Yay!
Thinking. So you can find me on YouTube at NZChrisGirl or on Twitter at KiwiChrisJones. I have had the absolute shitty-assiest last couple of months, which is why my videos are really low, which surprises me that I'm still getting a fair amount of subscribers. What the hell is wrong with people? Weird. Anyway, but if you want to deal with my crazy ass ramblingness, then you can know where to find me and subscribe to me and stuff like that. But yeah, at the moment I'm just mostly doing movie club hangouts because that doesn't involve a huge amount of thinking for me, just drinking. Yay. Bye.
I am Liam. I was some douche with the guitar. Now I've lost the guitar and I put in a ponytail, so now I'm definitely a douche.
A douche.
A douche.
A douche.
I too have taken a wee bit of a break. But now I'm back, baby. I'm back. I've got I've got an accent challenge video on my channel where I basically say words. And yeah, check me out in Servatorix.
Check it out.
And I have been your moderator. Try to be your moderator tonight. I am Meta. You can find me anywhere on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter at MetaMedicine. I have also been taking a wee break, but I should be getting back to things, but it's difficult. I've had school and life has been a thing. I do really hope to soon post part 1 of my TMI tag that I got tagged to do, because I think that's really, really funny and I still want to do it. So if you want to deal with this thing, which is drunk a lot on the internet, which is so not going to hurt my job opportunities in the future, you can subscribe to me at MetaMedicine, and it should be just hilarious fun times. And please do remember to go to the Movie Club Strikes Back Facebook page, where we will post what topics we have each week and who will be attending these hangouts. When everything goes live, we will also be posting that on our Twitter at MCStrikesBack. All the links you can find in our previous videos or on our channel, and we will make sure that next week we will try to be maybe more sober, but
No promises.
But we
Really,
potentially
no
have a pretty awesome topic for next week, which may have a fair whack of people jumping on board.
Yes. And Liam bailed out too early, so I think it's just time that we say good night for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave us a comment of what you want to see next. If you have a great topic you want us to discuss, or just a question you want us to discuss, please throw them at us, because we need some inspiration, and we want to keep this light, funny, and something that you guys want to watch. And if we don't know what you guys want to watch, we'll just talk about random shit, and it will end up being me just talking about what I'm afraid of.
And
So,
penises. We will
Also-
talk about penises and the butt.
Penises and George Clooney sucking as Batman and 50 Shades
Oh,
of
wait,
Grey.
leave
Yep.
George Clooney alone. Alright?
He just got married.
Nipples on
He
the back.
did get married. Anything is possible, you guys.
Seriously, they've known each other for like 2 minutes.
I think it's the first sign of the apocalypse, George Clooney getting married. Because like that shit was never supposed to happen, so
That shit is just sad.
gird your loins, people. The apocalypse is coming. George Clooney is married.
I'm gonna die a virgin. No, I'm not.
Dude, I think my dog-
then.
All right.
Yeah, my
on
dog-
that note, George Clooney being married, we'll say goodbye for tonight. And you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, man.
Ah.